What's up, y'all? Let me turn the lights on. All right, it looks better a little bit. So, excuse me, I'm tired. Um, I've been working the last 3 days in a row. Got today off. I was supposed to work today as my last day, but and then a day off. But anyway, the manager called me and asked me if I could be in tomorrow at 5. So yeah. Anyway, I'm doing everything I can to get my body in order. Without the gym right now. Um, I'm so tempted. I want to go back, but I want to go back, like I said, feeling with no pain. So I feel like I'm really close to that. Maybe by next week, I'll feel better. But I'm running around with the dogs outside on the concrete. I'm taking those days tomorrow because, and the day after, um, instead of taking a day off tomorrow and working today, and then yeah. Anyway, who cares? But so far, things are going well. It's nice. It's nice to have feel love when I get there. Like it's this everybody's. It's more majority though, 90% Mexican, and I love the Mexican culture. That's the reason why I love it so much because of my time down here back in 14 to 16. Just the love, like, and I get it from all ages. You can see the babies sitting there just staring at you like they see you and they just stare at you. It's dope. Um, I'm meeting great people, of course. The older ladies love me, which is cool. And they're telling me to go to church, and find you a wife, find you a wife. There's good, great girls there, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to focus on myself right now. Like I don't want to invite anybody in. I mean, it'd be nice to have somebody, but I know how women work. We all know how women work. No disrespect to y'all, but they want what they want and they only focused on that. And when you're trying to focus as a man on something, you don't have all the time that you need because you need to, give her attention and entertain her as well. So me knowing that from the prior experience and trying to feel like I could juggle multiple things in this, that's the reason why I'm in the situation I'm in. Not saying it's a bad thing, but compared to my life that I should have, I'm not living, really well. So I got to rebuild. And I've always tried to make either my mother happy or the girl I was dealing with happy. Um, and I never was staying true to what I really wanted to do, even though I was still doing it. I wasn't doing it the way I wanted to. And then, the Navy time, I just lost my soul, when I was in the Navy. And then after, so right now I'm scrounging to get myself back together. The last, since what was that 24 20 we left 20, yeah, 24, we left 24, I think, or whatever. Anyway, who cares? I don't care. That's how much work I've been putting in, just sitting on the floor or being in the car or wherever I was to fix my body. I'm playing with a changing code in your body because you're aging every second of the day. So you may feel like, oh, it's your lower back that's causing you the issues or the ankle that's causing you issue, but I like to say that the body is like a lock and key. Like I said, a changing code. You need to jiggle one thing over here while kicking this thing over here and stretching it over the other one over here and thinking about this over here and letting go of that. Like it's crazy what you have to do to just allow yourself to be able to relax enough to get your muscles loosened. Um, it may not be that way for other people, but for me, like I have never really stretched. Last time I really remember stretching, and it was a joke, was middle school. Once I started twisting my ankles in middle school, my body just tensed up, and then I also realized like the environment that I was in, the toxic environment, caused me to also tense up even more. And then for some reason, I believe that you need to keep your muscles tense to make you seem strong. And that was also an issue. I told my cousin that back when I was young. I was like, yo, if you just lock your stomach up, suck your stomach in, your abs will always be there. And I've always done that. So that gave me like gastric, like crazy issues. And I was always, flagellating due to that all my life, like from all I can remember, like, and then of course twisting the ankle and then being, manipulated and brainwashed and not thinking great things about yourself, even though you're causing yourself, you're telling yourself that you're pumping yourself up, you're hyping yourself up, you're still really believing that after a while. You're going to take bits and pieces of every negative thought. Like it may not be the whole joint, it might just be point one, but that all adds up. Like I was listening to Joe Rogan. I always bring this up, but I was listening to Joe Rogan and he said, it was about a whole nother situation, but he was talking about how his kids, you wake up and you have marbles and he has all women in his house. And he said, you may start with a unknown number of marbles and that's like your sanity and your peace. And if every second of the day a woman will ask you for something, like your wife wants you to do this, or your daughter wants you to do this, or the other daughter wants, or the third daughter wants this, and he's like, I'm just giving away marbles throughout the day and just not thinking anything of it, not thinking anything of it. And he's talking about boundaries. You know, I didn't really have that a part of my vocabulary and my intellect until I started doing this research on YouTube and just really realizing that I didn't have any boundaries. I was just letting everybody just kind of scramble, scrape, and do whatever they wanted because I thought that I could just, rebound. And 38 years of doing that, you lose yourself, and I lost myself, but also still regained a lot about myself, but also learned a lot throughout that experience. I noticed that I needed to be more stoic. Um, I've seen stoicism at its best with actors and actresses that I was around, when I didn't even notice that I was being, and I could be one of them, and I didn't know that I was in that atmosphere. I just was in the atmosphere, just absorbing, learning. But then when I went off to the Navy, I kind of lost my, what I was learning and I was applying, um, because I wanted to please yet again another woman, you know, and I should have been pleasing somebody, something else and myself really. But I'm learning a lot right now, and I'm I'm really excited about the future because I know what I feel like, and that I'm only getting better. I feel like I'm 10% of myself right now. I feel like once I get back into the gym after I get my body completely loose. You see, I'm not wiggling around. My hips are really feeling better. I'm starting to be able to relax my stomach so it can loosen up. Um, I'm having more playtime with the dogs, and that's keeping me rolling and tumbling and stuff like that. I'm starting to realize that little quirky things that I could do, to make my body loosen up and also relax. I'm investing my money, and I know that I got a nice little pot building. I'm hiding, and I'm still out in the open at the same time. Being in the center of town at Walmart and being in the back, aisle in electronics and meeting amazing people. I'm meeting great people. I'm meeting college students. I'm meeting, little babies. I'm meeting, you know what I mean? It's just like I said, I want to hug, people, shake hands and kiss little babies. That's the goal. I want to have an effect on them, So if I'm just building myself to be the best version of myself, people will start to see that energy and see that I'm trying to do something. And I tell them my story. I don't have a problem telling the story. I don't care who you are. I'm telling you what I've been through, and I'm gonna fix it. And I feel like after a while, that's gonna hit the right ears, and then they're gonna be like, "Yo, let me give you something. Let me show you something else. Let me show you something else. Let me show you, other things that you could be doing," and that'll open up the town to me, and I think I'm the right person because of all the stuff that I've been through and how loving I am. I'm just a caring person. I just love meeting people, talking to people, shaking hands and everything. I just like I could be miserable walking into work, which I'm never, because I'm always excited to go to work. I don't care what time it is. I'm excited, like, because it's getting me closer to my investments. You know what I mean? I can buy land and I can get these boys some a backyard. That's the goals. That's what I'm thinking about. And I want to get back into school. Like I want to do kinesiology. I want to do computer science. I just want to geek out, bro, and just be myself. And I can finally be that. And it's just a beautiful feeling. Like I'm just not even thinking about what is going on back in the day would stop me from being, because I feel so much better and I feel like I'm months away from actually being able to play the game that I want. And I was talking to a coach. She said she retired as a basketball coach, but or a volleyball coach. She was saying there's a kid that needs to hear your story, and that there's a bunch of kids that are gonna be like, just fall in love with you if you just coach, bro. Just coach. She was just like coach, and I'm thinking to myself in the past, I've always thought about me coaching. Like I know I could do that. I could build so many little versions of myself, through these kids, somebody else's kids, you know what I mean? I can see the talents that they have and the weaknesses and I can fix them because I don't have kids, you know what I mean? I just got the dog. So if I get them trained up, I can meet a trainer to train them up where they'll just sit there and watch me on the court train these kids. That's the goal. And then train adults and then train you know what I mean? Train people and then go have a town job or I don't know. I feel like the potential is immense, like huge. And that's what I'm working for. I feel like the Navy knew what they were doing by sending me here. I call myself King Mark, you know what I mean? Like from basketball and just the presence that I feel about myself and the area that I'm in, the energy that I spew, you know what I mean? The energy that just seeps through my skin naturally, my natural cologne is making other people feel great about themselves and like people come to me about all types of situations. Even in the Navy, they come to me about things that they probably would never tell anybody, and they leave smiling and just being like, "Thank you, like I appreciate you." Like just giving somebody a hug, whether it's a physical hug or a handshake hug, like you know what I mean, like a verbal hug, it can change somebody's whole life. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't notice that I didn't notice what I was doing, but I noticed what I was doing, but I didn't notice what I was doing because I was so depressed on not playing basketball and not being watching these guys turn into people that I knew I could have been better than. And I was just so frustrated in my own little head world. And even then I was still giving good energy to people. And it's just being back where I was known, where I grew up, that's what caused me to be so mad because I think that they saw the potential in me as well. No, even though they took basketball from me, they were like, yo, this dude could still be like at the town hall, being a mayor, the governor, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I get it. I understand because I have that personality. And somebody said it to me yesterday. They were like, yo, you could easily just you should be at the town hall talking because I know how to talk to people. Like my coworkers always say to me, like you're just a people person, like you know how to talk to people, and I can't do that. I can't sit there and talk to people for 30 minutes. Like how do you do that? I just love learning from them and then teaching them as well. Like people come to me about, they got an iPhone and they don't know what chord it is. So I tell them, I explain to them, they could be 60, 70, 80, whatever. And I sit there and I talk to them and I say, you have this sort of iPhone, so it's going to be this type of plug. And I say, remember this for me, please. You got a C charger, right? So you need a C. A C goes to your phone, and then you got a USB or, whatever to the wall. And I literally go through and explain to them. And then I also explain how Walmart has an app and that you can just go on the app and type up what you're looking for, just like you do on Amazon, and you can order it and you can pick it up later on. You know what I mean? The next day or that day, you know. And then also, you don't have to waste your time, waste your gas by coming out and not getting what you want. It just saves you frustration. That's what, and that's what I kind of say to them. And they're just like, I'm gonna have to get that app, or show me how to get that app. Like that's just the type of person I am. I love teaching people, and my time is valuable, but my time is gained by teaching somebody else. I feel like they're gonna remember me, and every time they go to Walmart, they're gonna want to come to electronics to see me, and it's starting to really show that way because people really do come back and they want to come say hi or see you. Like a gentleman was walking by yesterday, and he just looked at me and stopped. And he was like, "Yo, you know you're a unicorn, right?" And he said, "What in the world is a handsome black man like you doing here?" And I was just like, "Exactly, exactly." I said, "Well, the goal is." I told him about the situation at home, me going to the Navy school, college, getting my degree and everything. And I said, I want to come back here because I was really believing that I couldn't focus. So I said, let me come to a place where the school is 5 minutes away and I have no choice but to be able to get there on time, sit down in class, do whatever I got to do. And then I said, also, Walmart is the center of town. Everybody has to come to Walmart. You can go to HEB or you can go to Walmart. I know that my personality can grow bigger if I meet the right people. And most likely, you have to come get an iPhone cord or a cord for your phone or a case for your phone. And I just started realizing that when I got the job and I started walking around. I said, we're getting on an intellectual conversation about a phone, and then I explain to you how that phone works, also like Chat GPT or whatever. I explain anything to people that were maybe closed off to the thought of being able to. Dang, this dog drew blood. Dog bit me in my nose. Anyway, so you're gonna have to come get a phone. You're gonna have to come get some part accessory to your phone. I'll be here. I have the personality to be able to explain it to you. Then we'll have the intellectual conversation. You'll ask me why I'm here. I'll tell you why I'm here. You'll know somebody in due time, and then it all just networks. And I just started thinking like that. I said, "Oh man, like whoa, we're onto something here." And then, like I said, lady came in yesterday, younger lady, not younger lady, but like I said, she was retired, and she said that um, I should just get into coaching because there's a kid that needs to hear me, and I understand that. I definitely understand that. And I just want to. I told her, I said, when I feel like I'm ready, I will definitely do that. And I'm just right now, I'm just trying to get this plantar fasciitis out of my foot. I'm trying to, which is going away. Excuse me. Little side note, it's starting to go away. Well, I see like my feet used to really hurt walking around at work, and I just sucked it up. You know what I'm saying? Because the goal, I'm trying to get to the goal, get to the goal. I'm taking the hours. Staying on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, after, just to learn, do whatever, get the energy. And yeah, man, I'm just. She said, you should coach. And I'm like, I definitely know I should. And I just, for some reason, feel like that in a fear. But I think I need to go ahead and just do it, get the search for it so I can do so. And yeah, teach these kids how to hoop like Mark, because I had the Steve Nash. I had anybody I watched, I turned into. And I feel like I could do that with somebody or anybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you can't even dribble right now. I could teach you how to play basketball and be good at it, like enough to make a team, and then better yourself if you just come to Marcus's training, King Mark. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. But then also I could do gymnastic stuff. I could lift weights. I could. There's nothing I don't really know about fitness, So, and that's why I want to do kinesiology because I want to know how the body works also because I've been studying it so much so long. I feel like all I need to really do is learn the muscles and I love it so much it'll just it'll just jump right in my head once I read it a couple times or I see it on YouTube a couple times or I talk about it or whatever have you. But like I said to my coworker, I said, I'm supposed to be in front of a crowd of people. So talking to one person, two people, three people, or 10 people at a time is nothing to me. Um, I just, I know what I'm supposed to be doing and I know that I'm gonna get there, but I'm rebuilding myself. And if I don't get there, I'm at least download it into my kids. Cause cause listen, the more kids I have, the more I know that I'm gonna be able to. There's more opportunity for them to take over the world. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be so open minded and learn so much. My little nepo babies are gonna be so genius by the time they hit even 10. Like I used to, my captain's kids were like 8, and they were making us look stupid in the Navy, and they said to me, I want to go to High Point. And I'm like, what in the world is a High Point? The mom told me what High Point was. And at the time, I didn't realize how a kid's IQ was way higher than mine, all because of his parents and how they spoke to them and how they treated them. And then I also started realizing what my life now, I got these 2 dogs. And the reason why I have these 2 dogs is because I want that love. I need that love. But I'm also learning a lot from them and they're learning from me as well. So and yeah, it's a lot of work. Sometimes I'm frustrated. You know what I mean? We have our arguments, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we fight or whatever have you. But I've learned to realize and taking that energy and getting on the floor with them and wrestling with them is getting their energy out. And it's also getting me to, loosen my body up and also bonding experience with us. And I'm able to let things go because I do start to see how great my life is. Like how many people can really have 2 dogs and, puppies and raise them And I had to sacrifice a lot. Like I was, skipping meals or giving them chicken, when I didn't have money or I didn't have this job, you know what I'm saying? Or I spent my crypto the wrong way, you know what I mean? I put it in, invested it and had to wait 27 days for it to come back, to pull it out, to, get them food, or, you know what I mean? Like I had to figure things out, you know what I mean? And I had to go sell some things, a little $5 so I can get them a little small bag of food, or I can get myself some rice, or I can get myself some chicken, you know what I mean? Like last week, I was literally like, not last week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks ago, let's say, I was literally scrounging for $6 to go to HEB to buy a bag of chicken. You know what I'm saying? And like that's why I'm so excited to go to work. Like I go in there and I'm smiling from the beginning. Hello, hello, good morning, blah 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 to people. I'm talking to people. I want to change the culture. I want to change the culture of this whole area, and I want to be able to be okay with them. Like I want to be like, can I build this mega like court, so then I could be there like almost 24 hours and just train kids on how to play basketball, play football. Well, I don't really know, football, but I could bring people in and teach them football, get them trained for, physically and everything, get a pool, have them, teach them how to swim, all that stuff, because all that stuff will make a better kid, a better listening kid, a better everything. Like all they want is attention. And even adults, like I could train adults, you know what I'm saying? There's no limit to what I could do, and I could do CrossFit. I could do all, it's just I could sit down with the mayor. I could sit down with the president. I could what no, I'm not on the president level just yet, but I could get there. I could figure out some questions to ask, but I could do anything and everything. And like I realized, basketball was just one thing, and like I could use that to get more attention to this area, to me, so I can be that 40-year-old that does make it to where I'm saying that I'm gonna do, because I feel like every day my body is getting stronger and I could do it because my IQ is there, and I just need to be able to physically be able to do it. And but anyway, I'm just building, bro. I love it. I love what I'm feeling. I feel like I'm just getting started, and I'm gonna say that in 10 years, I'm just getting started at something else. But right here, right now, I feel like the Navy knew what they were doing. I call myself King Mark, and this is Kingsville. You know what I'm saying? Like King of Kingsville. That shit's fire, and I'm gonna make sure it happens. Positive, love, with all that. Just the my smile, my waving to people, asking people how they are, a hug, whatever. I can be myself here. I don't have to worry about like faking it. I don't have to worry about like, oh man, is this person gonna come up to me with some crap? I don't have to worry about that. And if they do, I still smile through it. Like I got yelled at as soon as I walked into work yesterday or 2 days ago. Lady was like, "I'm looking for some place. The phone service place said that I could come here activate my phone." And I was like, "I don't have a a person for that right now, ma'am." She said, "Well, customer service told me that you." And I was like, "I I wish I could help you, but I really do not have the means to do so right now. I'm maybe a week on the 3 weeks on the floor, but I would love to help you. But right now I can't." And she was mad, but sometimes people, from my me being that way, some people are just irritable. They're going through things. You never know what that person's going through, and they might have a reason for why they need their phone activated right here, right now, and why they need it to be a certain price. And I understand that, and that's why I don't get mad. I don't, because I don't want to make anybody feel worse than what they do, and that's how I feel, man. I'm just getting myself back. Excuse me, getting myself back to feeling like myself again. And now I understand also why they had to move me out of, Connecticut. You know what I mean? Because I really was on some mayor stuff. And I see from the growth in Connecticut that, oh, they wanted me to be there. Oh, they saw that potential in me, and they wanted me to be there with them. And now I get it. And now I just go build my own version of it, and I can take over Texas. Not take over Texas, but you know what I'm saying? I could be known in Texas because I have positivity that I'm spewing. And I'm not trying to be a butthead. I'm not trying to be better than anybody. I'm just trying to be me, I'm trying to live out the best of my life and give the world some amazing kids. And I feel like the more I have, the more kids I have, man, the more of little versions of myself will be out in the world, and I'm gonna have them just learning everything and just being the best humans to ever exist. I promise you that. That's my goal, and that's who I am. And they knew that in Connecticut, so they had to remove me. You know, the people that knew me the best knew that I had the potential to do that, and that nobody was gonna be able to stop me unless they did some negative stuff, and I wasn't smart enough to realize what they were trying to do. They were trying to move me, trick me, play me out my position, and I let them. But you know what? I think it feels better to know that I could be soon. I'll be able to really go anywhere in Texas and be loved and be like known for a hoop or coaching or my body or a smile or my personality or something positive, nothing crazy, and it'll bleed its way all the way back up north, and we'll have our 10 million subscribers, and then we'll be able to do the I show speed version of for the adults. I'll have everything I want. So, like I said, I'm trying to take over the internet, and I'm taking over my little world right now. So come join, hang out with me. I'm learning. I've been through some stuff, but I'm not gonna let it stop me from what I'm trying to do right now this time around. Um, we just starting. We just starting. But greatness is ahead. I promise you that. I'll get my flabby butt out back into the gym soon, and we'll really have a reason to be like, dang, look at him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Once I put everything back together, I'm just putting my body back in and my life back in order. Work with me, stay tuned. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I've been so busy, just and I haven't really felt like I had anything to talk about. And I hate talking about myself, but I see that me building this confidence in myself in this little room with these dogs, people are starting to feel it, and people are really starting to like what they see and feel when they're around me and they speak with me. Um, yeah, so maybe I'm doing something right. It's just the energy up there that was not really feeling it because they knew that I was right. I know who I am, and I am what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be what I'm doing. I'm watching. Just stick with me. I'm not gonna let you down this time. I promise you that. King Mark.